Hi everyone, Nick here. So I'm down in the woods today. I'm absolutely caked in mud and algae and moss and all sorts of bits and pieces, and it now looks like it's snowing in here thanks to all the ash I've just blown up. We're just before Christmas. We are, what's the date today? 22nd, 23rd. I just wanted to take the time to make a quick video to reflect on 2020, to look forward to 2021. Talk about some of the things that we faced at Hidden Valley Bushcraft that maybe you didn't know behind the scenes, and had to kind of adapt to or find a way forward or work through, and also, you know, just to share a few thoughts on what's going on in the world right now, I guess. So I'm down here at main camp, got the fire on, and you can now see a cabin that's really coming together. Rewind the clock, 2020 started like any other year. We had a Woodland kindergarten which was Ofsted approved and things were flying. I was running courses at weekends. Coronavirus struck the world and everything got turned upside down, or so it seemed. You know, the newspapers went bananas, and the journalists, you know, scurried about pushing this stuff around on every single media channel, and the first thing I did is stop watching the news. I stopped watching the news because I know that due to, you know, my background and bits and pieces, post-traumatic stress disorder, I know that it doesn't do me any good reveling and dwelling on the negatives and the things that aren't going so right in life. And the best thing that I can do is work on those positives. So what are the positives? Positives quite often come out of negatives. You always gain more, I think personally, by overcoming something than just, oh, that's a good idea, I should have a go at that, because there's nothing to lose there. There's always risk involved. We are no longer trading as a Woodland kindergarten at the moment. We furloughed our two teachers, our amazing two teachers, and then subsequently they've now moved on and are working for other companies. They were snapped up immediately because this was such a success. Ofsted, the British standard for schooling, outstanding in every department. So we were a little bit, you know, that knocked the wind out of our sails, but it's not the end of the world. And it's about, at those key moments in your life, recouping, okay, thinking, right, what do I need to do now? So I came down here, I did some recouping, I did some recalibrating, really thinking through, you know, what else can we do? What else can we offer? How else can we make this work for ourselves? Like, what, you know, what's going to happen now? And the key was actually my dilapidated conservation cabin that was built from recycled materials was tired. there was water coming in through the ceiling. There's all sorts. We're actually putting a video together behind the scenes right now of this whole build. Okay, end of day 2. We're now at the stage where the cabin is no more, and we're starting to dig out all of the earth, which will go up on the channel. So don't worry, that is going to happen. It's going to be lots of snippets and clips and time lapses and bits and pieces, because obviously this has taken place over pretty much a year building this thing. So the decision was made to take down the old cabin and rebuild a new one on the same plot, on the same space, albeit with a larger veranda, which is non-living habitable space, under our planning, which is temporary, all has to be temporary. So the whole thing is built on wooden stilts with a wooden roof. It's been done as an eco build and as a DIY SOS. So loads of local construction companies have come together and have helped us, because we were on a relatively small budget that was provided, very fortunately, by the Veterans Foundation, which is one of the British military charities we have here in the UK. So we had this pot of money to try and make this thing happen. Now, the amazing upshot is, okay, we lost the kindergarten. We've now got something that we can offer up to 30 veteran families, okay, injured, emergency services, armed forces, personnel, 30 times a year can come and use this site, bespoke just for them. So people who are part of our Woodland Warrior program can come and use this cabin. Incredible. That never would have happened if it wasn't for that chain of events. So it's about taking that negative and turning it around into a positive. It's not been an easy year in terms of staying in that positive mindset the whole way through. I'm only human. So I've done an awful lot of, any time I've felt that that real negative turn or that mindset start to come in that's not helpful to me, I've gone on a 15-minute headspace walk. I've actually just made a little video about that, and that'll be going up very shortly. And I'd really like to know how you guys have been coping through this coronavirus pandemic. How have you been finding ways to stay chilled, to keep your head on straight, to not have a massive wobble when everything else in the world is telling you to do so? For me, it's all about the outdoors. On that note, whilst we're doing this on the fly a little bit, I'd like to take you guys on a bit of a journey, just show you around the cabin and show you around the site, so you get to know a little bit more about Hidden Valley Bushcraft, why we do what we do, and how we're doing it, and how you can get involved as well. So with that in mind, obviously you've got your fire pit here. We're just up at main camp. This is actually a raised cooking station underneath here, built from bits of old cast iron Rayburn cooker, and adjustable grills and things. They're the bum pads that people sit on when they come on courses. It just helps to stop that that heat loss through the stumps. You can see some bundles here of wood that we use for starting and lighting ovens and things. So that's all stored away, and I've just built like a shed roof, really, a storm cover to go over the top. So it's a very simple design. I've not even bothered to notch the logs. There was an old ash tree that came down, so I built that in. And then underneath here you can see space heater bricks from an old reclamation yard. They help to hold that heat and push it back up underneath. So when the lid is off, this is a fantastic resource for cooking with. Moving on over here, got an oil drum full of bone dry wood to run the oven. Okay, so this is our ground oven. Been meaning to do a bit of a walk around and a talk at some point, so this is ideal while we're up and running. As you can see there, it's quite classic ground oven territory. So I've dug into the bank, and the material that I've removed, I've trod in onto a canvas here, and I've used local horse manure and cow manure from literally the fields just the other side here, to mix with the earth that came out of the small trench I dug, and that is then packed back on top with hay or straw to hold the whole thing together. So this is kind of a way of making cob. This is how old English houses were built, using this stuff. And then I've taken something from my past life, because I'm very much all about repurposing. So I've taken an old grenade launcher ammunition box, a bit of grill, some bits of grate from an old Victorian fireplace, and you can see that this thing is a V shape, okay, and that's to maximize the heat that's going up underneath. There's a couple of pieces of sheet steel under here to hold the heat, and you can pretty much do a really good kind of, leg of lamb roast or vegetable roast or whatever it is you're into. This holds its heat at about 180. Needs a little bit of a tidy up, but we're in the depths of winter right now. And so over here, I'll just show you this. This is an old chimney pot off the house, and you can see how extremely clean burning this thing is in here. The chamber is relatively clean, and that's because it's got such a good ratio of burning stuff off. So it's a classic L shape dug into the bank. Now what's also great about this is you can use the same heat twice. So the firewood that's going in here heats the oven, and then on its way out I could maybe, as the unit's cooling down, I can smoke things on top of here, or I can boil water, or whatever it is I'm trying to do. I might even want to brown off some meat and a pan up on the top and then put it in the oven afterwards. It's all achievable. The next thing here up at the camp is the Hungy pit, where I've made a video already. Check that out. Ooh, cooking with hot stones. We can cater for pretty much, I think we can cater for like up to 60 people in there pretty easily. And then you've got this lovely main table and a DD hammocks tarp over the top. It's all a very simple setup, and these are reclaimed, recycled scaffold boards, and again some more of that old ash, the same old ash that we used for building the cooking station. And then we're through to the main camp. This is where a lot of the lessons take place. Hopefully I can jump back into the shot now. Take you up here. So you can see we built this adaptive ramp that goes around the corner and into the doors. We're going to have some small downlighters coming off of here. There'll be 3 solar panels on top with the deep cycle battery bank inside, running a DC circuit. And so in here you can see some of the wiring that's been left out. We're pretty much underway now, so we have a small mezzanine floor in here for storage on top. And we're finishing the outside, the kind of final finish in these lovely Russian boards. Now these were donated by a local reclamation yard, and so we're just in the process of starting to panel out the walls here. Still a long way to go. It will have its own little bathroom area with a little shower. The toilet will be a composting toilet because we don't want to be putting any more human waste into the land whatsoever. And there'll be a small wood burner in the corner running a thermosiphon circuit that will have a open vented heating system, so we'll have one radiator in here as well, a small kitchen across the back. Water, I'm hoping, I don't know yet because I'm still trying to get my head around this, is going to come in the form of, around here next to that old wood burner is where I'm going to put in a 1,000 litre rainwater tank to take all the water from the gutters and then put that back into the cabin through a series of filters which will be on the back side of the cabin, through a UV light Steri-pen, which will hopefully make everything good to go again. I'm going to head back down now to where I've been working today. You can come with me down these steps. I rebuilt these steps last year with some of our volunteers, and you can see we planted in a couple of little stray hazel plants, some hawthorn and some blackthorn, which are just naturally complementing woodland here. And this is where I've been working today. I could probably show you what I've been up to just down here. So we have the stream, which is really rather lovely in places and very relaxing. And then the bank that we've rebuilt using these dead trees that we've harvested out from the tree line, and then backfilled all the space the other side of the tree. So these are ready now. You can see these little canes. These are getting planted in January the 9th. We've got a planting day with some of our veterans down here. This is the giant pallet that I've had to make to store materials for the cabin. And today I felled this elm here, laid it in place, and I did the same with that one there, and I've yanked that into place. So where all this land has been lost, what I've done is created a lattice with some of the brash, and all the earth, wood chip, leaves, matter will build up inside here and break down and become the new bank over time. So you can see it really does make a difference. We get down at this level, you can kind of see just how much has been lost. So all this will get brought right back up over time. So it's a slow project, and it's something that we've been doing down here for quite a while now. And I think there's something nice about that, and the fact that, you know, it's not a quick win. It's not just to click your fingers and it's done. We live in a world of hot water, heating, internet. There's something quite special about putting time and effort in and sharing the load with others to achieve a goal. And when everyone's singing off the same song sheet and you look back on your hard day's graft, yes, it was hard, but that sense of achievement, for me, is twice-fold something that I could have just gone and bought from Amazon or got delivered at my house or whatever. You know, those quick wins, they don't last for long. You're quite often looking for the next quick win. Whereas a solid day's graft, working in the woods, giving back to something that's more than yourself, something like this little patch of England, really fills me with pride to see year upon year the results. You know, those new trees coming back to life, plants appearing, you know, things that weren't there before, that you've given a chance for that to come through, and that's brilliant. But more so, obviously, this process kind of, as much as I've helped to sort of continue to work to save this little piece of woodland and make it really special, it's had the same effect on me. It's kind of, it's done for me what I've done for it, sort of thing. It's one of those, you get back what you put in. And so coming down here, volunteering, helping out, if you are a member of our ex-armed forces and you do want to come and get involved, just send us an email. You know, fill out the form, the Woodland Warrior Programme, come on the course, and that's it, you're into the winner's enclosure. It's as simple as that. So we're just walking through now an area where we've been working in a lot. And you may spot, if you look around in here, you'll start to see bird boxes, bat boxes, and all kinds of stuff that we've placed in here over time. No 2 days are ever really the same down here, and another really important point is the fact that you can only ever work, you have to be respective of the seasons, you know, so all your felling has to happen now. In the winter, well, the trees are dormant and all the sap and energy sources down in the root system are effectively asleep. And of course, once springtime comes off, it's hands off. Then you can't gut anything. So there's a lovely little wood pile down here, which was kindly put together by some of our veterans after we lost a rather large crack willow recently. Fell over wrong, went over this way, and you can still see the remnants of some of the brash up on the slope, and so they came down and sorted it out. This is the old owl box. We have a new owl box. This is the old one that's come down, so this is going to get replaced. That will be another project. New owl box will be going up. We tend to make a lot of habitat piles here. What I mean by that is whenever a tree has fallen, you'll take all the larger stuff, make a lattice underneath, and then the slightly medium-sized stuff into the fine stuff on top, and then you'll lay on all your sheets of bark. And that's to allow, you know, ground-dwelling birds and animals the facility in the place to have a little hidey hole for the winter or somewhere to go and be. Because what the last thing we want to do is make woodlands too tidy and sterile, and, you know, very pretty to look at, but actually pretty ineffective as a woodland at doing what it does. So just down here there's a little survival shelter which needs a bit of love, so that'll probably get tarted up in springtime. And you can see 3 big bags of sawdust donated from a local carpenter, and so this stuff tends to be oak planings, cedar, bits and pieces like that, and that will go back down on all these paths where I'm pushing this wheelbarrow through now. Oh, duck. And so you can see that rather than blaze a trail through here and make a really clean path, what we've actually done is allow the trees to kind of be in place, having to, you know, trying to work around them rather than for our own agenda. And again, that harps back to, it's not all about us. And there are places obviously where you can see here this would have been growing at this angle when I first took the woodland on, and this whole slope has been cleared by hand, and this giant hedge would have been right down to here. So this path has in fact been created. You know, we've forged our way through the landscape, but not had to take out too much. All this brash here, in amongst all of these stinging nettles and this kind of high nitrate soil, you've got lots of young trees coming through. So this is the next generation of woodland coming up through here. The trees at the back, so the cherry over there and the rowan, they're in sort of year 2, and these little ones here are in their first year of life. And then this kind of brings us down on the bottom path out into the field, which I've made lots of social media posts about, and we'll be going via the orchard. So the other side of this little hedge here, this is going to be a set of steps as the sun tracks across the sky, so there'll be very little growth happening here anyway. And you can see these apple trees have all been planted up through here. Now this is actually a wild crab in the middle, and this side has just been cleared off, so we can start to put in apple trees here as well. So this will be an orchard, and then that kind of leads into what is a public footpath that leads around the corner here. So there is an identical track to this, a linear track leading off into the woodland. The other side of that hedge, there's a gate up there as well. So you've got a track along the top and a track along the bottom. As you can see, we're on one side of this steep slope with a stream to our right hand side, and this is our woodland. And you know, it's only about 300 or 400 meters long and about 60 meters wide. So that's kind of the crux of it. And then it heads out into a field to the left here, which is 4.5 acres, table flat, and we've got this lovely little pine wood block. I'm going to take you on a journey through that in just a moment. Okay, and here we are out into the field with the river chew running to our right and the footpath that leads off up round the corner and across the fields towards the Rising Sun car park, the local pub. And straight away you can see the fruits of our labour here. You can see 2 elm trees that have been laid down, and you can see just how much. So the riverbank was down here. We've actually rebuilt all of this with wood chip from a local arborist. Really simple technique, didn't cost anything but time. In addition to that, last year I also managed to get a 3-ton digger, and I dug out this channel that goes all the way to the left hand side as a drainage ditch to keep this field dry, because this is effectively, if you think about it, a floodplain. This river once upon a time would have been much larger, and it is, you know, effectively what's formed the valley. And then we've back planted 410 trees went in last year. There's another 210 going in, plus another load. And in the pine wood block here, we can see just coming around the corner, there will in fact be 2 beehives going in as well. So it's really exciting times for 2021. I can see you guys again. There's a couple of really interesting features. One is the natural spring, which comes out on our side of the boundary. You can see how crystal clear this water is. Absolutely amazing. I'm hoping to be able to redirect some of this water via a pump system or solar or something back up to the cabin. That would be incredible. And then we have this pine wood block here. And so one of the first jobs, because this field hadn't been touched for quite a while. When we bought this land, we bought the Woodland first in 2012, and it hadn't been touched for like 40-50 years. And we did a lot of work building paths and things. And then we took on the field only last year. And you can kind of see how flat this thing is. It's going to be great, and it's going to be really accessible for wheelchair bound people. So we're actually in the process of building a second camp over there, and it has the river running all the way around the outside it. So that's going to be really exciting and something to keep an eye out for. And then I built this well-being path. So I felled this massive willow and then created this log bridge across with a drainage ditch that goes up and around the back of the pine wood block and comes down on the other side. The new owl box has gone up into the hedge line here, and a lot of this is European pine and European larch and Scots pine. God, you can tell I'm hungry. And the beehive, or hives, the 2 nucleus, the little ones, will be going in just here on this platform, so they've got access to water. They're away from the public footpath, and they'll be quite well off up here. So there you go. So this is pretty much the grounds for Hidden Valley Bushcraft. The archery for corporates and things takes place on that side of the field, firing back into here, so the other side of that lone ash tree. Our neighbours who live in this farmhouse down the bottom are really on side. They're great, so we're allowed to drive we get access through there to drive the Land Rover right up to the edge of the woodland for materials and bits and pieces. So thank you very much for joining me on that little journey around the wood today, for sharing our YouTube journey, for allowing us to show you what we do, and hopefully we'll catch you guys in 2021. Thank you very much for all the continuous support, for those of you who've told friends about the channel and have helped us to grow to all of, I think we're on 760 now, which is absolutely amazing in a short space of a few months. So thank you very much. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button as well and ring the bell. And if you have anyone else of your friends who you think would benefit from watching our videos and taking part in what we do, or coming on a course, then just let us know. And don't forget to let us know what you want to see on the channel in the comments box below, because it's you guys that steer this thing and make it what it is. Thanks. Cheers. Bye.